Hey, welcome to the podcast.
I'm me and that's him.
Yeah, we're us, and this is podcast under the influence. This will be our quick cast. We'll go over some things real quick, and no time to lose. Let me get to my alarms real quick. Ready, sir?
Where the game's made up and the points don't matter.
Yep. Who's on anyway? Okay, number one, DeMarco Murray. I got a quick rant about that. The Cowboys, you ran him into the dirt. Because you knew you weren't going to resign him, or at least not resign him what he's worth, and then you used the fact that you gave him over 400 carries to lowball him on a contract. That's fucked up. In my opinion, it's really fucked up and classless. But let's get your take on that real quick.
I like where he's going. I think he's going to be better off. I think he'll actually be happy. Not that he wasn't happy with the Cowboys, but he's going to be happier with the Eagles.
But you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, and they're paying him. Yeah, well, I thought he was going for a little bit too much money there at the beginning, but it seems like he's happy with it. And I think, honestly, and I think I mentioned this last week in passing, that I think part of the reason they even went after Bradford to begin with is because they knew if they were going to get Bradford, they sure as hell were definitely going to land Murray.
Now, how funny would it be is if they traded Bradford after they've already locked in DeMarco Murray?
That'd be Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly doesn't give a shit about a person. He gives a shit about the team. And whatever gets him to where he wants to go, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, we're talking about professional sports here, so.
But if you used it to lure another guy in, like with the promise, like, yeah, you and him are going to be teammates again, yada, 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 and then before you play a snap together in the NFL, trade it away. I don't hate it. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't necessarily be a fan of doing that. And I don't think I could do that to an individual. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure the ownership gives more shit about a championship than they do about who actually got him there to begin with.
Yeah. I still don't like what Dallas did to DeMarco Murray. They ran him in the ground, then used that as an excuse to not give him money because, like, well, you ran this many carries last year, and history says that after
you're not going to get that many next
year. After this many carries, you're not going to be productive the next year. So. We'll see.
Dallas's chance was last year.
Timer one. Topic one down. Topic two. Darren McFadden. Can I get a pound? Because I did call that.
You did call that.
Last week, and if you haven't seen it, I said I bet you anything that Jerry Jones goes after Darren McFadden because he is an Arkansas alumni, whatever you want to call it. And that's where Darren McFadden went. And he tried very hard to trade up in the draft to get Darren McFadden. But he couldn't. So I knew I just had my gut feeling he was going to sign him.
No.
Yeah. How good do you think? I think he'll do better in Dallas than he's done in Oakland. I'll give him that credit. Because that offensive line in Dallas is, again, it's probably the best offensive line in the league by far.
He's going to do better, but the Cowboys' best chance to get to the Super Bowl with what they're currently using was last year. I don't think we're going to see them get any. I think as far as we're ever going to see them get into the playoffs again is one game, and that'll probably be this year. And then after this year, they're going to go by the wayside again.
Well, my personal opinion was if they got DeMarco Murray back and they had the team from last year with improvements like here and there, like for example, if they got Greg Hardy to improve the defense.
Yeah.
And they got maybe a couple corners to improve their secondary or whatever. I had them as a front runner in the NFC the NFC to be one of the front runners or top three at least to be in the Super Bowl. Them, Seattle, and then Green Bay.
With patching the defense, yes. But since they've lost
DeMarco Murray.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say he was the heart and soul of that team, but they actually finally
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
Got their head out of their ass and decided to establish a running game last year, which was the one thing they were missing the 10 years prior. And
okay, he carried the ball 400 plus times. That's including playoffs. You know how many times everyone else carried the ball total?
In the league or on the team?
On the team. Less than 100.
Yeah.
And you had two decent backups, and that's another issue. I don't like that. Timeout. Time over. Shoot, phone locked out. Next topic is random, so you can talk about whatever you like when it comes to fantasy, when it comes to football. Let me go first.
I've been really looking forward to drafting Brandon Oliver in the third round this year.
Why is that?
I don't know, dude was doing pretty good when he actually got a chance to play last year, and now it's just going to be.
They don't have Matthew anymore.
There's no one in front of him.
Woodhead is out.
Yeah, it's his game.
Yeah.
It's his game now, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what Brandon Oliver does given the entire season. And that kid from Chris Balford from 49ers that retired.
Oh, yeah.
1 year in the league and he's out. I respect him if he's doing that on good information and has good intentions, but time will tell. And I'm waiting to find out 5-10 years down the road that somebody from the Concussion Association of America said, do this, make a statement, we'll make sure you don't have to pay for gas anymore. I don't know. I'm always leery when somebody does something like that because is it them or is it something they were promised?
I'll comment on that for 5 seconds. You get paid in the NFL millions of dollars to play a game, to work out and stay fit, and to be oogled by women and by the general public itself. You're not going to make that kind of money anywhere else. Maybe money's not important to him. Maybe he wants other things. But there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people who would gladly step into his shoes to take the money he doesn't want to take to play football. Now, that being said, now I got to go to the thing I wanted to comment on. The Redskins usually make big splashes in free agency. They go and overpay for some guy who is either right at the peak of his game and is on the downward or is already on the downward. They've not done that this year. All the guys that they've gotten, other than the guys they've re-signed like Niles Paul, they've gotten guys that haven't hit their ceiling yet, and they could get their ceiling with us, and we can make them better. And we got them at a pretty cheap price. And topic done. We move on to Flash. Go ahead. Sorry.
One more thing on the Chris kid.
Pause.
He apparently is a very private guy. So I'm thinking part of his decision had to do with him not wanting to live in the limelight. Maybe. Which he just did to himself. Which doesn't make any sense at all.
By retiring, so.
Never mind.
Okay.
I haven't had enough beer yet.
Flash. There's so much. We can talk about this. This is another one of those Arrow episodes. When Arrow, the last episode they had so much going on. You couldn't just talk about it all in like 5 minutes.
No, you got to break it down.
Yeah, so first one, Barry and Iris. They had the little chemistry thing going on when they were bowling.
That was so ridiculous. When she wiped the salsa off his chin.
I mean,
whatever it was. That was so cute. And the only thing that would have made that scene just like a little bit more intense and awkward for everyone else involved is if she would have just wiped it off and then ate it. That would have been hilarious.
Or if he had a boner. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, right there in the middle of the bowling, holding his ball to cover it up.
And, so it's about time. Just for the record, it's about time.
Well, actually, no, they're kind of jumping the gun on the big love interest thing because this is literally the first season of the show.
Well, no, I heard a thing about this. They're combining the Wally West story and the Barry Allen story into one. That's why they had to jumpstart this a little bit.
That's fine.
I'm just telling you, they're combining the two. That way they don't have, in like 3 seasons, there's a Wally West. Just combining the two stories into one.
Well, there's still another 3 other guys that have been the Flash over the years. So
I know. Wally West is one.
Yeah.
So, and their ever so awesome kiss. And so cute.
That was so cute.
That was the episode. The rhythm of the episode was so good.
But then it never happened.
Yeah, that is
days of future
we will
past.
Get to that.
Damn.
We will get to that.
Well,
it never happened.
You brought up the kiss, so that's going to be like the party blow on all of this until we cover that is it never happened.
So the question is, when he goes back in time, does he remember everything that just happened prior to that?
Does what?
Him kissing Iris and all this. Okay, time's up on that. We'll get to that in the extended podcast.
Yeah, we got like 4.
Okay, go to this. Iris finds out that Barry
is the Flash.
I wonder how she's gonna take it. Is she gonna be like, "You lied to me," or is she gonna be like, "Feel like that's awesome. I kind of suspected it."
I'm more in love with you than I ever was before.
Now I just know that you can vibrate while you're inside of me. Oh man!
Be gentle. Don't go too fast.
I don't think she would want that. I'm just throwing it out there.
We could have this whole Superman's dick and Wonder Woman's vagina conversation on this one
right shotgun here. And her fallopian tubes, the only ones that able to do.
Yeah, Lois Lane couldn't handle it, just blow her in half. Anyway, I digress. I'm off. Sorry.
Going off.
Couldn't help but bring it up.
No pun intended. I'm a little. The reveal was early in my opinion. Now the question is, now that he's gone back, does he undo everything to where she doesn't know?
I think he does because in the preview for next week it showed that Cisco was still alive.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cisco, I didn't want to get to that yet because
we'll
get that in a second. It's on the
See, like I said, but it never happened.
It never happened, yeah. So, gosh. You're going to mess with time travel. Going to mess with our heads a little bit.
Hey, that's fine.
I am so happy it's back on. That is a good episode to start back on.
That really was. You gave me 3 weeks off, and then you come back.
You had the weather wizards. You had everything going on there. We'll get to the weather wizard in a minute, but everything was just went really well in that episode.
Yeah, it did. They did a fantastic job on their comeback because I'm not gonna lie.
I wonder if that's why they took 3 weeks off because it took that long to make it good, or they just needed more time to.
I don't know. I think they did I don't know. They came back with a bang, and like if anyone was watching anything else at 8:00 last night other than that, they deprived themselves of something super awesome.
Yeah, I was playing poker.
Well,
which I won, by the way.
I thought, hey, you texted me and I told you make sure you watch it.
I did. I made a point to download it. So
I even got caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And next topic is the guy who plays Spartacus was the villain this week.
The second guy that played Spartacus.
Oh yeah. Oh, the first guy dead.
Yeah. With holograms.
Technically,
holograms and CGI. God only knows.
Yeah. So. In fairness, he did play Spartacus in more episodes than.
Yeah. I like the original.
I do too. Whatever. Andy Whitfield. God, may you rest in peace. But I liked Ian McIntyre. I thought he did a very good job of portraying the villain in this episode. He was supposed to be the weather wizard, which I know you laughed at it at first, but I thought his villain, the character he was actually, I thought was pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I know you don't like the name.
If the name Storm wasn't already taken, that would have been perfect for his character because it's kind of like dark and brooding, which like he is, or I don't know. Even if they just
they have the wand, so.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started about that fucking wand. The science behind it is sound. I'm not even going to argue that, even though it's all theoretical and hypothetical. But the damn thing is Cisco walks in, sets it on a fucking tray in front of the police station, and everyone just kind of walks away from it. It's like, okay, this thing is going to protect me from the dude who's coming to kill me, and I don't know when that is. So I'm going to leave it sit here right by the elevator. Oh, damn it, kids. Stop it with the dumb shit.
Why didn't Barry just take out the weather wizard in the police station? That's what's bothering me. Because he could have ran the guy to the hospital, which he did. It was fine. Which I didn't know that guy was gay until right now. Until this episode.
I honestly think we're going to go over on this, and fuck the time, I don't give a shit. I like the fact that they worked that in there as a back thing. Like it wasn't important. They played it off as it doesn't matter what his polarity is. And I really enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was the perfect way to do that. They didn't make a big deal about it. They didn't work it into an entire plot line, entire episode on relationships and whatnot. They're just like, oh yeah, by the way, he's gay. And on to the next thing. That was great. Good job. Kudos to you, Flash writers and CW, for not making a big deal out of it because it shouldn't be anymore. It should just be something that is.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Now Wells. I wonder if he knew that Barry was going to go back in time. I wonder that, and that is why he killed Cisco, because he knew that it was going to be undone anyway.
He said he needed Barry to get faster. Now, we've known he's been pushing Barry to get faster the whole entire time, and now we know why, because if you go fast enough, you can do time travel. And I
think it's only because only Barry can do time travel. And and maybe it's like, remember the movie, it's called Jumper? Yeah, Jumper, when he goes from one place to another, and the guy can kind of follow him in his wake.
So you're thinking...
It's something like that.
You're thinking Dr. Wells or Mr. Thawne. What was his first name?
It's near the E, like something Thorne. Or
Thawne.
Thawne.
Yeah. Whatever. I could see him possibly following him through a time lapse. Or did he know from reading up on Barry's history that he was the only one that was able to do it and control it later on?
Maybe.
So he decided to come back to this point and cause all this shit to happen. Or
he had to have known how. He had to have known how because he came back to kill Barry. He came back to kill Barry as a kid. but he ended up killing Barry's mom.
You're going to want to watch the long cast for this one, kids. And
you're going to want to watch.
Yeah, because we're going to go into detail about, oh my God, paradox and punctuation and whatnot. I'm going to kill this one when we get to the long one. But point of the argument is, was Dr. Wells always Mr. Thawne? Or did Mr. Thawne come back in time to assume the identity of Dr. Wells, knowing what Dr. Wells was trying to do, and on down the line? Yeah. Tune in later.
Okay, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm glad it's back on TV. The first episode we had back wasn't like it was.
It was a sleeper. One thing happened in it. I explained it to all my wonderful friends out there in TV land and ruined it for him. And after he watched it, he said I fell asleep watching it.
The first time. Second time, I paid attention. It wasn't bad. But yeah, I did fall asleep. Granted, it was after work.
It doesn't matter. I have never lost interest in an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that week I literally just I gotta go to the bathroom.
You said
disconnect. I don't even care. I'm not even pausing.
Yeah,
it just wasn't there. And I'm getting super deep because they're starting to ramp things back up. The last 2 episodes have been great. Have been really good. Really good. This last week's episode start to unveil a little bit more. And who's the new S.H.I.E.L.D.? That's what I want to know.
What do you mean a new S.H.I.E.L.D.? I don't get what you mean.
You watched last night's episode?
Yeah.
Okay. When the blonde hair chick Bobby and the black dude she's hanging out with.
Yeah.
I want to call him Eddie, but I know that's not right. I don't know. Anyway, when they take the British guy,
Bobby. Yeah, no, the girl's name's Bobby. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and they take the British guy to the dungeon at the very end of the episode.
Yeah.
And we work for S.H.I.E.L.D., the real S.H.I.E.L.D., and then you look on the wall, and there is the S.H.I.E.L.D. of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's like, what?
Well, I know they're trying to kind of overthrow. They're trying to kind of overthrow Coulson because they believe the black guy believes that Coulson, the first half of this season, wasn't doing things because it was the right thing to do for S.H.I.E.L.D. He did it because he was going crazy and the stuff he saw in his head, and him and Skye he's not trusting his judgment, and I kind of understand his point because Skye is dangerous, yet he keeps her around, and he has favoritism. But if it was anyone else, would he really have this favoritism? So I understand where they're coming from. So they're kind of working on they're working on a coup right now. Basically.
But my question is, and because we don't know, because S.H.I.E.L.D. has been run by 4 different individuals over time. One of them being Tony Stark, but we're not even gonna get into that. Is this the S.H.I.E.L.D. being run by Kobe Smolder's character?
I know you're talking about. I can't remember. Agent
Maria Hill.
Agent Hill, yeah.
Yeah. Is this because she's still hanging around in the backdrop somewhere? So after working for Tony, is she now upstarting S.H.I.E.L.D. again in the backdrop? And then you got Coulson running distraction over here in and Nick Fury and Maria Hill rebuilding S.H.I.E.L.D. in the background. That's what I'm thinking.
We'll see. All right, buddy, get your bracket out.
Bracketology 106.
106. You have 2 minutes. You are on the clock. Explain. Oh, wait, I'll pause it.
Explain it.
Pause it till you get your information up.
It's loading.
Enhance.
Error. The network connection was lost. Well, it should be saved in my phone, so it doesn't matter. Ready? Yeah.
And go.
All right. So here is how I came to this bracket, and I'm actually redoing one because my judgment was flawed. I took 2 die, threw them into a box, and the way it's organized on my phone, I think, is Midwest first, then West, then East, then South. So for the first section of the bracket, I did an even number for the team on the top, an odd number for the team on the bottom. For the next section, I went odd number for team on top, even number for the team on the bottom, and that's the way I picked my bracket. Now, after I did that, I realized that my theory was flawed because I used 2 die. In 2 die, the odds of getting an even number go up exponentially because you count out the number 1, so there's one more even number than there is odd numbers. I'm going to redo it tomorrow before noon with 3 die because I worked it out mathematically, and there's an equal number of chances of getting an odd number and even number with using 3 dies.
Okay.
So that's how I came about my bracket, if anyone's wondering why the choices were made. So let's not boggle ourselves with the stupid stuff. And once we get on up here to the Sweet 16, I've got Kentucky playing West Virginia and winning, Notre Dame playing Wichita and winning, Wisconsin playing UNC and winning, Baylor playing Ohio State and winning, Northern Iowa playing Lafayette and winning, BSU or Dayton playing Michigan State winning, Duke winning over Georgetown, and Gonzaga over Iowa State, which takes us down to Kentucky versus Notre Dame wins, Wisconsin versus Baylor, Wisconsin wins, Northern Iowa versus Michigan State, Iowa wins, Duke over Gonzaga, Duke wins, Notre Dame beats Wisconsin, Duke beats Northern Iowa, and Notre Dame wins it all. That's what the dice came up with.
Okay. Any more seconds? You want to elaborate on anything else? Any big upsets? No?
Dayton's going to the Sweet 16, kids.
Okay.
Or BSU, but probably Dayton.
Okay, my turn. I have Midwest. I have Kentucky beating Hampton, Kentucky beating Purdue, and beating Maryland. Purdue will beat Cincinnati in an upset win of 9-8. West Virginia beats Buffalo. Maryland beats Valparaiso. And then Maryland will beat WVU, which that'll be a close game, but I think Maryland will win because they've just been a better, more consistent offensive team. So they'll score more points. And if there is a chance WVU wins that game, it's because there's rookies on Maryland. Butler beats Texas, and then Notre Dame beats Northeast, and then Butler plays Notre Dame. Notre Dame wins. Wichita State beats Indiana. Kansas beats New Mexico. Wichita State beats Kansas. Kansas Notre Dame meet in the, I think it's Elite Eight, and then Notre Dame and Kentucky end up playing. Kentucky wins that game. Western bracket: Wisconsin. I got Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. I have Arkansas beating Wofford. UNC beat Harvard, but I wouldn't put it past Harvard to upset. I'm gonna throw that out there. Mississippi Ole Miss will beat Xavier. Baylor beats Georgia State. VCU beats Ohio beats VCU, and Arizona wins. Arizona beats Ohio. Arizona ends up playing Baylor because Baylor will beat Ole Miss. UNC will end up playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin wins. Wisconsin and Arizona will meet in the final or the Elite Eight again, and Wisconsin will win that. I have Wisconsin winning the whole thing, and I got to breeze through this last one. Pause for a second. We got extra time. Nova will end up getting all the way through to the Elite Eight. They'll beat LSU. They'll beat Lafayette. Northern Iowa will end up playing them in the Sweet 16, but I have Nova winning that. I don't think Northern Iowa is as good. They're a good team, but they're not as good as Villanova. I have Boise State will upset Providence. That's my upset of this bracket.
You're picking Boise over Dayton?
Boise or Dayton will be
Boise or Dayton will be
one of those two will be. I like both of those teams.
I'm a firm believer in that. I think Dayton has a better chance of going farther, but I'm still
farther or further?
Whatever. I still like Boise.
Farther's a distance. Further. Just kidding.
You want to argue about a parsec next, whether it's a distance or a unit of time?
It's a unit of time. Just kidding. If you're a Star Wars fan,
you'll understand that because that's an ongoing argument.
UVA will beat Michigan State, and then it'll beat Oklahoma, and UVA will come out of that bracket beating Villanova. Last bracket is Duke's bracket. Duke will end up beating all the way down to San Diego. They'll beat Georgetown. Or not San Diego. Yeah, San Diego.
San Diego State.
Yep. US or SFA. San Fernando Austin or whatever it's called.
San Fernando Valley Austin.
Yes, will beat Utah. That's my 12 versus 5 win. Every year except for 3 years at the NCAA tournaments have 64 teams, but 12 is beaten to 5, and that's my pick. Granted, my other 12 versus 5 pick might work too, but oh well. SMU will beat UCLA, and then SMU will upset Iowa State. As in the Hawkeyes, I think is what it is. And then Gonzaga will beat SMU. Gonzaga comes out of the bottom, beating North Dakota State, which actually North Dakota State is not a bad team. They're just in a really weak conference. And they'll beat Davidson. And then Gonzaga will upset Duke. And my final four is just bring this up. My final four is Kentucky versus Wisconsin, and UVA versus Gonzaga. I have Wisconsin upsetting Kentucky, and then I have UVA upsetting Gonzaga. I like Gonzaga. They just haven't been. I don't think they've been tested quite enough to beat UVA, and they're gonna have. We're gonna have to go all out just to beat Duke. And then I have Wisconsin winning, and I have the combined total score of that game is 112. It'll be a low scoring game. And so that's pretty low scoring. That's an average of about 60 points per team. I think Wisconsin will win by about 8 points. So that's my final.
If you can't score 50 points in a game, you shouldn't be allowed in the tournament.
It's done. And we'll just go to our top 10.
Oh yeah.
You want to go first? I went first last week. Musicals is our topic this week. Top 10 musicals.
Yeah, these really are in no certain order
on his list.
Well, whatever. I'm different. Les Miserables, The Sound of Music, Grease, My Fair Lady, blast me internet for this one, Hudson Hawk. It was technically a musical. They sang. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had the album. Blues Brothers. Take your pick. Either movie. They were musicals. There were song numbers interlaced that had something to do with the plot the whole entire way. Pitch Perfect. Rock of Ages. Tom Cruise. It's so much fun. That movie is just a blast to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Only one animated feature on here, boys and girls. Oliver and Company by Disney. And the reason I chose that one over, and most people would argue that most Disney animated feature films are musicals, was because they actually cast musical professionals in it. Bette Midler, Billy Joel. I mean, then add to the cast, you got Dom DeLuise, Cheech Marin. Like, there was cool stuff going on all over the place, and it was like one of the very first movies I ever saw.
Yeah, he played a little dog in it. Cheech did.
Yeah. So I absolutely love it. It's probably one of my favorite. It is my favorite Disney animated film of all time. And then after that, The Book of Mormon. I actually saw that on stage, and it blew my mind. It was hysterical. It was funny, and you walked out of it singing some of the songs, which I'm not going to repeat here because I'll have the religious right people up my ass, and I just don't really deal with that. There it is.
You didn't have Grease on that?
I did have Grease on that. Grease was down there.
I must have misheard it.
All right. Was down there at number 8.
Honorable mention, Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, sorry. Very good. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's kind of a weird, but it was very well done. It's a very iconic, one of those few iconic, weird, like kind of like Clockwork Orange. It's weird, but it's really good. I don't know how to explain that. That's the only way I can explain it. You know what I mean?
I made the wife watch it a couple years ago for the first time.
Clockwork Orange or Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I'm not going to make her watch Clockwork Orange. She'll never understand that.
Yeah. Fiddler on the Roof. I was actually in a production of that. And then Gallivant, which is a musical television show on TV right now. Not bad. It's not. I haven't caught up on it. I'm about 4 episodes behind now, but it wasn't bad. It's pretty funny. It's written into a comedy.
Isn't it like 6 or 8 episodes long, and that's it?
There's about 12.
Is it? There's about 12 things.
Okay. Okay, and my top 10. Number 10, I was also in a production of this, Little Shop of Horrors.
It's always fun.
I can do all the songs on it. I love it. Number 9 is Sound of Music. And it sounds kind of like pussy. It sounds like a pussy thing, but you know what? I hate Nazis, and they were against Nazis, so can't stand Nazis. And not to mention, it is one of the iconic musicals of all time.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, ask anybody who the Von Trapp family is.
Von Trapp family, yep,
they know.
It's awesome. Number 8, The West Side Story. Very that was like. Jets versus Sharks.
I don't care.
Jets and the Sharks.
Every time I see that, it cracks me up.
Organized crime in America. It's a great play. It's a modern version of Romeo and Juliet. It was very well done. I really enjoy watching it. I can watch it all the time. It's really good. It's that good. Number 7 is Wicked. It's a modern classic.
Oh, it is. It's very good. That one escaped my mind when I was doing my list, but that's one I really enjoy. I actually really enjoy the music from that one.
So do I.
Really enjoy it. Defying Gravity. I love that tune.
Yeah. I can sing it. I can sing Defying Gravity. I can do it. I have to do it in a really deep voice. It doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I can't hit that sharp or that F sharp.
That E sharp. That's an E sharp.
I thought it was an F sharp.
Yeah, that's an E
that
sharp.
That one note just fucking crushes me.
Too late for second guessing. To go back to sleep. Number 6 is Rent. I like it that it touches very controversial and modern issues. As much as I liked Wicked, it's based off an older story, and this one touches on a current issues like with AIDS and homosexual marriage and homosexual relationships and drug use. And kudos to, I don't know who wrote that, but whoever wrote that, kudos to you for touching on these modern issues and making it into a music. Not all musicals are fun and glory. I can throw another one out there that's not all fun and enjoyable. Like was it
Phantom's kind of sad.
Phantom, but Demon Beacon, Demon Butcher,
You're on your
Sweeney Todd.
That one's a good
That's
one.
Yeah. Number 5, it's not a movie, it's a TV show, but I've gotten away from the show lately because it's just annoyed me.
You're not missing anything.
Glee.
The first 3 seasons, you guys did fantastic. I don't know why you gave up on yourself after the 3rd season, but you've absolutely.
You guys are just like
you've done nothing.
Like a woman who got married and just stopped trying.
Let herself go. Yeah.
Well, I understand the point of Glee and why I respect Glee so much. It's because a lot of schools across the country were cutting finances for like music, and they were cutting funds for like Glee Club or drama department. And the reason why they made the show is kind of an outcry to
awareness of the arts.
Yes,
that was fantastic.
And I love that.
They did fine.
Respect for that.
Well, they did fine until they graduated everyone and then started following their stories elsewhere. You should just let it go, left it at school, called it.
Let it go.
Oh my god!
You started into it too.
I know.
You started into it too. Oh my god!
Stuck in my fucking
I got it.
No, I sat there and where the fuck was it? It was Pizza downtown. We were there eating. It was months ago. And that was the only song that played for the entire hour and a half we were there. I wanted to kill myself.
You can hate on that. First off, let's be honest. Everyone likes Frozen. If they say they don't, they do. Because in Garrett County, we all know how that snow is all the fucking time. And it's a pain in the ass. But everyone likes Frozen.
I am refused to see it.
I enjoy the message of Frozen. Every other Disney movie, other than like one, which is like Mulan,
needs Prince Charming.
Yeah, you need a man to be happy, and that's what teaches young women. So they grow up thinking they have to have a man or they're not worth anything. This teaches you don't. You need family, you need your sister, you need your sisterhood in general. Not so much your sister, maybe it's an aunt, maybe it's your cousin, whatever.
I think anyone that declares that that's the entire point of any Disney animated film is that girls, you need a man is reading way too much into
it. Well, if you look at every play, every or Disney cartoon, that's what it teaches young women. You're helpless without a man. That's what
Bambi didn't need a man. Bambi needed Thumper.
Okay, that's completely different. And Snow White needed 7 men. Okay.
Now,
7 little men.
The fact that they, were getting into that back then, and then she still left 7 men for one. God, whatever. Bullshit.
Okay, no.
Dopey.
You want to know a fun theory?
I'm sure Dopey.
You want to hear
as big as Dopey's nose was? I can only imagine.
You want to hear a fun theory on Snow White? Snow White. Each one of the 7 dwarves is technically, I think it's either 7 drugs or 7 phases of going through drug abuse.
No.
But I don't want to get too much in that.
You need to stop watching.
Number 4 is Rock of Ages. Absolutely fantastic movie.
So
it's so fun.
And the mashups are what sold it for me.
Oh yeah, I just want more of the mashups. I mean, I have that on my phone. I don't know if I ever told you.
No, that's all. I got the entire album on my phone.
Oh, Mickey, I love that. I love it. Let's see. Number 3 is Pitch Perfect. So.
I'm more of a rock guy, so that's
love
why
Pitch Perfect.
Rock made it higher on my list.
It is. It's awesome though. Both of them are awesome. Pitch Perfect. They're making a second one. Can't wait for it to come out. Number 2, and I'm surprised it wasn't on your list.
What?
The Producers.
It was good. It was funny. I don't know.
After
all the great stuff out there to choose from. I mean, I even skipped over Wicked, so it's like I definitely missed some when I was thinking about it. And I've had like, what did we decide to do this 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So I've had time to think about it. It's just I went with my gut feeling and what was fresh in my mind, and that
I don't know how you can't. You look at Springtime for Hitler, and you just like, you could probably throw a couple other musicals in there. I think of it like What movie is it? History of the World Part 1. Part of that's musical.
Yeah.
Inquisition, what a show. Inquisition, here we go. People wish that we just go away.
The Life of Brian.
Yeah, that's. Oh damn, that'd be another good one.
Go. That's a really good one.
All right, so the producers. I've seen both versions. The modern version I am more of a fan of just because it's a little more upbeat, a little more pizzazz. I don't dislike the old one because Mel Brooks can't hit him.
No, you can't.
And Gene Wilder. Judge, you can't hit him. Hey, you love God. Those guys were like iconic. They're just iconic figures in comedy / TV, comedy / movie.
Well, what that version of Frankenstein is the most quoted movie in all time.
Actually, it is the highest grossing black and white movie of all time.
Yeah, the version with Gene Wilder is the most quoted movie of all time.
He would have an enormous Schlumstucker.
It's funny everywhere in that film.
I love that movie. Hello, would you like to go for a rolls and say hey? And number one, and it's one of my top movies of all time, is Grease. I can't elaborate on how good that is.
It's fantastic.
It's, if anything, it'll be, if they had to list like the top 100 movies of all time till now, it has to be on that list in the top 10. It has to be of just the impact it has on society, on how long it has lasted and the impact it has on society. That's what I mean. Yeah. Gone with the Wind would be up there too, because that's been around for a long time. And people still wait. And I had to throw this out at you while we're on the podcast.
Again?
Yes.
Because I was
Gone
right
with the Wind was in theaters 6 years. You forgot to mention that.
So
if you put any movie in theaters for 6 years and it's the only movie to go see in theaters for 6 years, of course it's going to make a lot of money.
Sorry.
Your data.
It doesn't skew the data. The data's the data.
Data or the data? All right. Well, that's it for the quick cast. We're going to go right into the.
No, we're taking a timeout.
Don't tell them that. I don't think we'll jump right into it.
I'm taking a timeout.
Okay. Well, he's going to take a timeout. I'm going to jump right into the next one. See ya. Bye, kids. Peace.